Don't worry, fellas. I got this one. I love it when they bring up this stat. First off, you see how she points to in her video the 80%, because if she doesn't point to it, you might read that Hispanics are at 83%. You might read that whites are at over 75%, right? That men in their 40s have typically had children. And then here's the second thing, right? What about the men who are between the ages of 30 and 40? Would they be represented in that stat? No, they wouldn't, because that stat pertains specifically to men over 40. What about men between 20 and 30? Would they be represented in that stat? No, they would not. So that most men by their 40s have had children at that point, right? That doesn't mean that all the men have children, because there's so many men between 30 and 40 and so many men between 20 and 30, right? Even so many men between 40 and 50, right? So when you guys use this stat to try to bash your men, to try to paint a narrative that all the black men are out just reproducing, having babies all over the place, right? When you guys put out data that where you try to prove that narrative, consistently you girls are putting out the same information. And it's crazy to me, because you would think that with so many of you being college educated, you would be able to read a goddamn graph and understand what the stat is telling you. But consistently, you guys are so focused on trying to bash your men that you aren't even looking at the fact that the data you're using to do it, it says that we're right in line with everybody else, number one. And number two, that you don't understand the information that you're putting out there. It's really sad. You know, when we talk about 72 out of 100 black mothers being baby mamas, unmarried women who gave their womb away to men that nobody respects, right? When we talk about that, it's not a made up stat. It's not something that's framed and cut out to try to make black women look bad. It's just that our women have a defect inside of the cultural narrative, the dominant cultural narrative. And that defect tells you guys that it's okay to become mothers without becoming wives. And then your children grow up and they fill up the prisons. That's statistical fact. That's not somebody trying to bash you, but you feel like it's bashing when somebody confronts you with a reality you don't like about yourself.